As students or teachers in chapter, we are all part. As students or teachers at chapter, we are all a part of the Jewish community, and therefore Israel is a big part of our lives. Whether you've lived there or have never visited, our appreciation and love towards our homeland is all the same. But right now, many of us feel like Israel's democracy is slowly slipping away from our grasp. Some of you might know about this, some of you might not, and some of you might only know the general idea. To briefly summarize, our current government is trying to pass a group of laws that would limit the power of the Supreme Court. Hundreds of thousands of Israeli citizens have been protesting for 9 months straight every day, and mainly Saturday nights, against these reforms. The reason that me and my family joined these protests this summer while I was visiting there. The reason that we and the other protesters have been gathering is because we're afraid that these reforms will lead to minority groups such as members of the LGBTQ+ community, Arabs, African refugees, and women having their basic human rights jeopardized. The most impactful protest that I was a part of was when a group of roughly 100,000 people walked for 5 days from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, or Yerushalayim. When they finally arrived, there was a huge protest at the Israeli parliament. Me and my family went, and although we couldn't participate in the march, we still donated food and water for them. We definitely weren't the only ones. The reason I decided to talk to all of you about this current situation, because as I'm sure you've heard many times already this year, we were told to talk about something that we wish we would have heard when we were younger. Well, towards the end of last year, I realized that many people in Schechter haven't heard about this at all, or that they don't know the effect of it. And I want you to know what is happening in the world, especially when it hits so close to home. Now, above all of that, I'm sure some of you might be wondering, well, what can we do about it? We're in America and this is happening in Israel. I want to share with you all a story. The story of my dad and what he did that involved many Israelis living in Boston. He had this big Israeli flag that my dad was going to take with him to one of the protests in Israel. So before his departure, he called many of our family friends over the course of roughly 3 days, and they would all come to sign their name on the flag as well as a message. Regardless of this being impactful, because it symbolized American Jews or Israelis helping even though they are far away, it's also considered controversial to write on the flag, but this was an exception considering what our homeland was going through. My dad reported this to me and posted it all over social media. It was amazing how it got a lot of recognition from people in Israel and in America. I don't know what is going to happen with Israel's democracy, and I don't know what is going to change. And I don't know what is going to change the situation for the better. But I know that I care deeply about it, and I can't just sit and do nothing. That's what my dad taught me, and what the hundreds of thousands of protesters have been teaching me. And Maamina, I believe, if you care enough about an issue and you really want to help, you can do so no matter where you are in the world. You could be a part of making a difference, even if you don't always feel like you're a part of it.